Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back as ever to the Championship predictions for the upcoming weekend's games. Make sure to get involved with your predictions down below, drop a like and subscribe. And I'm joined by Sophie. I smashed you last week.
Yeah, I mean, I did really poor, but you just did unreal, so might as well give up now.
Guys, as ever, get your predictions in. Compete with us if you want to down in the comments. Let me know how you got on last week. And before we get into this, once again, the video is being brought to you by BetMate. BetMate is an app you can download. Obviously, we've got the link down in the description. I'd say it's certainly worth getting involved. There's always a free pot, so you can get involved with the fantasy football at the weekend. They do championship games at 3 PM, so if you want to put some of your own players in there, I always do my team. You compete against me. It's either free or it's a couple of quid, so it's worth getting involved, and you can win some good prizes. So it's certainly worth getting involved, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Just stay away from COD players.
Absolutely. So get involved with BetMate, drop a like, subscribe, and let's get into the Championship predictions, starting with Friday night's game, Burnley versus Norwich, a Premier League matchup last season. And they've both been all right. I feel like all three relegated teams are now starting to find their feet, a bit of rhythm. Burnley just unlucky to not get the win at West Brom. It was a 94th minute equaliser from the Baggies. Meanwhile, we saw Norwich swipe aside Coventry, but also we'll put that down to Coventry being really poor at the moment. I think this is a much tougher test for Norwich and for Burnley as well. I might just edge the Canaries. I think they'll both be up there at the end of the season, but history tells us Norwich will probably be further up there. I'm going to say Burnley 1, Norwich 2.
Yeah, I was tempted to back Norwich as well after seeing them at the weekend. I mean, they didn't even get out of second gear for me, and you can say, oh yeah, Cov didn't play too well, but I don't think Norwich played their best either, and they completely demolished us. So I think that's a testament to them. However, coming up against a strong Burnley team at Turf Moor, it's no easy game. I think it's going to be a draw, so 2-2.
2-2. Okay, next up we go over to St Andrews as Birmingham City take on Swansea City. Got to say, Birmingham, the first team to beat Preston, the first team to score against Preston. Who'd have thought it'd be Birmingham? Fair play to them. It wouldn't surprise me if they now go and lose this game, but I don't know with Birmingham sometimes. Swansea City, meanwhile, they won last weekend, so two teams coming into this on the back of a win. It's interesting. It's two completely different styles of football. Wouldn't surprise me if Birmingham have 20% possession and Swansea have about 80%. But I still think Birmingham might be able to get something out of this. I'll go for a share of the spoils, 1-1.
Yeah, I was tempted to say this could just be a 0-0 and probably a dual one. However, I'm going to back Swansea here. I think, yeah, as you said, it wouldn't surprise me. Birmingham getting the win at Preston, that did surprise me. So then you think, okay, they're going to get something at home against Swansea. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, so 1-0 Swansea. 1-0
Swansea. Okay, next up we go to Blackpool up against Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough with a good win against Sunderland. Maybe just starting to find their feet after a stuttering start. I do think Middlesbrough will still be up there, but it's a slow start which could hamper them at the end of the season. Up against a Blackpool side who've been in and out of form, I suppose. It's a tricky one. I don't think going to Bloomfield Road is easy. I might sit on the fence for this and say Blackpool 1, Middlesbrough 1.
I think Middlesbrough are going to pick up another set of 3 points, and I think it's going to be another 1-0. I don't think Blackpool played the best at the weekend, and
well, they beat Huddersfield, to be fair to them.
But I think it should have been a draw.
Okay.
Huddersfield had a goal ruled out unrightfully, and the FA have came out and said about it now due to technology issues. But yeah, I just see Middlesbrough picking up the 3 points, so 1-0.
Okay, next up, Bristol City take on Preston. Now, after Preston have finally conceded and finally lost, do we expect to see a slightly different scoreline from them every week now, or is it going to go back to being a 0-0 draw?
Now. Yeah.
They might think, okay, our record's gone, let's just go out and try and win games. I don't know what to expect from this, but one thing I do expect is Bristol City to look good. I think they've looked really good recently. Great win at Blackburn. And I think they could get a couple goals against Preston. Maybe a tight game, but Bristol City in form, 2-1 to them.
Yeah, I think Bristol City are looking really good at the moment. Pre-season, I thought they'd be down there, to be honest, and they're proving me wrong. Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty easy game for them. I do think now that Preston have kind of lost that defensive record, whether they're going to think, do you know what, let's just try and go for the win, and that's going to hamper them a little bit. And yeah, I see them conceding 2 more against Bristol City, so 2-0.
2-0, wow. Okay, next up to South Wales as Cardiff City take on Hull City. Hull City had a good start. Is it slowly starting to fade maybe? If they get a win here, they'll be back in the mix, I suppose. But Cardiff City, a tricky team to put your finger on every now and then. I might back them. I haven't backed Cardiff City many times this season, and Hull City not quite in the best form. I reckon Cardiff could get the better of them. 2-1 here.
Yeah, I could see that playing out, to be honest. I do think this is going to be a tight game. However, I'm going to be boring and back a 1-1 draw.
A 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we're back to the CBS as Coventry City take on the Baggies, and Coventry are still looking for their first win. We don't really do too well against the Baggies. I will say, though, West Bromwich Albion haven't been bad, but they haven't been great this season. They're drawing a lot, and the performances are suggesting they should be winning more. Is that something Coventry can look at and say we could get something, or could we get beat? Could West Brom finally make things click? They've only won one game, and when they did win, they smashed Hull City, didn't they? I'm worried about losing this. Coventry's form's not good at the moment, so it might sound negative, but I suppose I would take a draw. I think it could be interesting. I'll say Coventry 2, West Brom 2.
Okay, yeah, I find it interesting how you say I'd take a draw, because I'm kind of feeling the same at this point, which we really shouldn't, especially at home. But I wouldn't be surprised if we lost this game. However, I'm going to predict us to get something, so 1-1.
We're both going for a draw.
Yeah.
Could be interesting. I'm sure there'll be lots of fans at that one. Next up, we've got Queen's Park Rangers versus Huddersfield. Huddersfield really not doing very well. I feel a bit cheeky digging at them when our team Coventry's not doing very well either. But no. Huddersfield set such a high bar last season. They're really not living up to any expectations this season.
Aren't they?
Yeah, Huddersfield could be in trouble. That was not the best result against Blackpool. Queen's Park Rangers, meanwhile, did lose at the weekend, but I think they'll get back with a win. 3-0.
Oh, that's harsh. I think, yeah, Huddersfield fans have got to be a little bit gutted after the weekend, not getting anything from that game when they should have.
Yeah.
So are they going to come back and get something from this one? I think it's too tough a game to. So I do think they're going to lose, but 2-1.
2-1. Okay, next up to Bramall Lane as Sheffield United take on Rotherham. You got your Sheffield United result correct at the weekend. They did win 2-0 at Hull City. Meanwhile, Rotherham, they got a 1-1 against Watford. They're
a good result,
still grinding out good results. If they just, I think the thing is just keeping their heads above water. I know they're going to lose games every now and then, but I think Rotherham have shown signs they could be okay. But do I think they'll get something at Bramall Lane? No, I think it's a bit of a free hit. Yorkshire Derby could be interesting, but I'll back the Blades 3-1.
Yeah, I'm going to back the Blades. Another 2-0 win for me. I think Rotherham being away from home against a strong Sheffield United side, I don't think they're going to pick up anything, so 2-0. 2-0.
Okay, next up, Stoke City take on Luton Town. This is a tricky one because Stoke City...
I struggled to predict both of these teams, to be honest.
Yeah, they both lost at the weekend. Stoke City lost away at Reading. I did back that one, to be fair, so I just don't know. I feel like Neil might take a little bit of time to get that team to click, but Stoke City are always a very tricky team to gel. No manager has gone in there and really got them going in the Championship yet. Up against Luton, who we thought might start finding their feet, and then they go and lose to Wigan at the weekend.
That was weird.
Luton have only won games on the road. Might just edge them. I think this is a tricky one where confidence might not be at its highest, and one goal wins this. 1-0 to Luton.
I think this is going to be too tight to call, and I can kind of see a stalemate playing out, so 0-0.
Really?
Yeah.
Goalless draw.
But like an exciting one, not just like a, oh, that was a waste of 90 minutes.
Yeah, well, it could be a decent one. Now, next up we go to the Stadium of Light as Sunderland take on Millwall, two of the mentalist fans in the division. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's trouble because Sunderland, crazy fan base, Millwall, crazy fan base. I think it could be a really exciting game. Sunderland lost to Middlesbrough. It'd be interesting to see how quickly they can turn things around after the change in management. Meanwhile, Millwall are a tricky team to predict. I feel like I might just back Millwall. I usually back Millwall when they're at home, but they are still quite good on the road. I really don't know what to expect from this. I think either team could win this. I could go for a draw, but I won't be boring. I'll say Sunderland 1, Millwall 2.
See, this is one of those games where I can't see it being a draw. I think it's going to go either way.
Yeah.
I think it is two solid teams going at it, but for me, I think Sunderland are going to have a little bit too much.
Really?
I think it is... I don't want to say another 2-1. So I'm going to say 2-0 because I think when they get going and they get firing, they're a good team. So I think they're going to get the 3 points and a 2-0 win.
Okay, next up to Vicarage Road as Watford take on Reading. Watford with just the point to show from Rotherham, but they're back at home now. Could they get another home win up against a Reading side who I did back to beat Stoke 2-1. They went and did that. The thing is, I know I backed Reading to win and they won, and I'm impressed. Reading can flip to the other side very easily, and we saw that when they went to Sheffield United and lost 4-0. I feel like Reading are having a good season, and I do like what they're doing, but I could just see them getting drubbed by Watford. I don't know why. 4-1 Watford.
See, that sounds so harsh. I can't. Oh, I don't think Reading are going to concede that many goals, but I can see them losing this fixture. I think Watford are quite a tough team to break down, and I don't think Reading have the quality to do that. 2-1 Watford. 2-1 Watford. Okay, and the last game, Wigan versus Blackburn. I remember this being a Premier League game 10, 12 years ago, and I don't know what to expect from this. Blackburn, they're probably one of the hardest teams to predict in the league. They won 3, lost 3, won, lost, and they're just kind of inconsistent. Meanwhile, Wigan, very good win at Luton. They're obviously still kind of finding their feet, but I'm not saying they haven't found their feet. They're kind of getting their feet under the desk and they're getting on with their business, and they're keeping their heads above water. I've got to say, all 3 newly promoted teams have done all right so far. I think Wigan could do with the win here. They should go for it, and I think they'll get it. 2-1 to the Latics. I didn't think you'd predict that. I thought you'd back Blackburn. I'm actually going to predict Wigan to win as well. I think they're proving me and quite a lot of people wrong, to be honest. I didn't think they'd be getting the results they are. And I think, they're going to pick up the 3 points, but still a tight game, 1-0. 1-0. That wraps up our Championship predictions, guys. As ever, get your predictions down below. Do get involved with BetMate in the link down in the description. It's certainly worth checking it out and competing against us with fantasy football teams. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.